Shalom. This week is Parshas VaYishlach, and this one of the major themes of it is the meeting between Yaakov and Esav after their separation for 20 years. Now, Yaakov is apprehensive about meeting Esav. He's returning to Canaan. He wants to return to his father, so he's going to have to deal with Esav. So he sends Esav a conciliatory letter, and in it he hints that the issue of the brachas and in the rights of the firstborn that Yaakov received by less than totally ethical practices have not been fulfilled. He's been prosperous, but not through the blessings of heaven and earth. It's basically he's gotten his blessing through livestock, which is not agricultural products. And he meets Esav, and Esav welcomes him extremely warmly. Esav is very happy to see him. He hugs him, he kisses him, and he's very pleased to meet Yaakov's family. And he says to Yaakov, let's walk together, let's travel together. And Yaakov declines. He says, no, I have to go according to the pace of the children. And if I drive them too hard, I'm just going to lose everything. And eventually I'll come to your home in Seir. And what the commentaries say is that while Esav's offer was sincere, nevertheless, it was a case where Yaakov knew that an extended relationship with Esav was going to create conflicts and problems. And later on in the Chumash, the same parsha, it says that Esav takes all of his flocks, his whole house away from the Canaan, and he goes to Seir. And it adds that there was not enough pasture land to support the two of them. And then it says he went away from Yaakov, his brother. Now the commentaries discuss this, and they say really there was enough pasture land, but it was two things that Esav objected to. One was that he was very embarrassed because of the sale of the birthright, even though he didn't really take it all that seriously in his lifetime. When their father Yitzchak dies, Esav takes the leading role in burying him based on the fact that he's the oldest. But nevertheless, the embarrassment of the experience remains. In addition to that, they say that Esav knew from the prophecy of Abraham, his grandfather, that he was going to, or his children were going to have to be, shall we say, in slavery for 400 years. And for that, they would receive the land of Canaan, the Eretz HaKodesh, the Holy Land. And Esav's point of view was he didn't want the Holy Land and he didn't want the 400 years of slavery. So he said, let this all fall to Yaakov. Okay? So you're dealing with the relationship between the brothers at the time they're brothers. The Haftorah also deals with the relationship between the brothers, but at the time they are nations. And it's some extremely critical of Esav. It's also critical of Yisrael. And it talks about Esav basically being very talented, but in the end, their prosperity is going to go away. They are going to be victimized by thieves. Their allies aren't going to support them, and they're going to fall to a very low state. In addition, it rebukes them because it says on the day of the destruction of Jerusalem, the destruction of Israel, when Israel underwent a calamity, Esau behaved like one of their enemies. And he says that really Esau should have had pity on Israel and should have tried to lessen their hardship and their pain and suffering. And he shouldn't have gloated and laughed over their misery. In addition, it says that he drank on Har HaKodesh, the holy mountain of Hashem. So to speak, he was celebrating the destruction of the temple, so to speak, the degradation of religion, what would be hoped to be the end of the kingdom of heaven on earth. And for both of these, his unbrotherly activity as well as his negative attitudes towards religion, he is strongly rebuked by the prophet. So the prophet ends though with a line that in the end redeemers will ascend Mount Zion and they will judge, shall we say, or decide what's fair concerning Mount Seir, and that dominion will be to Hashem. Now what this is talking about is saying that really in the end Esau will see that even as great as his natural talents are, he's a descendant of Yaakov, he's a descendant of Abraham and Yitzchak, that these will be exhausted and he is going to have to access the powers of religion, and that the way he is going to have to access them is that he's going to have to access them through Yaakov, who has chosen religion as his life's work. And the prophecy concerning Yaakov and Israel is that while they may meander very substantially, eventually they will come back, that they will live up to their task, they will live up to their mission, and that they really will be the embodiment of God's law, and they will teach it to others and apply it to the whole world. The idea of Esau being a conqueror and a leader of the nations, that to a certain extent the whole world is Esau. And that they will do this according to religion, according to the Torah's Moshe. And on that day, the two brothers really will travel together, as it says in the Chumash, according to Esau, he says, let us travel together, that hope in line will be realized. Thank you.